So the next movement is called Joyous breath, and it also is a rising and falling movement. So it really picks up on this thing that we've just been doing with light at the top of the head and temples, but it introduces a new variation. And that is this, and I'm just going to demonstrate it to you so that I'll talk it through while I'm doing it. It's first of all, you sink a little bit and step out to the left. So at this point, it's still like rocking motion. And then I bring my hands down, but instead of reaching back, I gather that energy again, just like I was doing on light at the top of the head, but look at how I'm kind of sinking into it. And as I come up, now I am on Jupiter or someplace where the gravity is huge and the air is really heavy, and I'm really feeling I'm coming up with my hands moving a much heavier engagement, and I come right up onto the balls of my feet. So once again, there's that lifting, and then I just kind of let that go for a moment as I twist or turn my hands. So I'm just letting my hands turn at the wrists, and now I'm ready to come down. Now, I'm going to be coming down into that heavy air, but there's a second piece that's going to happen with this, which is that I'm also going to have that pressure at the back of my throat breathing as I go through this. So both coming up, but especially coming down. So I'll pick up on that as we go through the motion the second time, but let's just come down and try this. So it's like in yoga, what people would recognize as ujjayi breathing. The breath is going through your nose, but it's really pressurizing the back of your throat. So you go 4 times, and then heavy air coming up, and your breath is coming into the back of your throat, and then, and one more time. And then just as you come and finish, it's just a lighter kind of coming into your close and resting. So there's no heavy breath at that closing part of it. So I'm going to show you what this looks like from the side as well, so you can just get the feel for what I'm doing. So here I'm going sinking down onto my full feet. Of course, you'll feel the pressure come into the balls of your feet a little bit more, but my heels aren't lifting here. And then I'm gathering that charge, and now is where I start getting that resistance both in my hands and with the air at the back of my throat. So, and it's only at the very end in all of these movements that you start to feel the lift in your heels. So it's really like the final thing that happens, and this movement really captures that. And then turning, and 4 equal times. And around. Slight lift in the heels. And one last time, the 3rd time. So 3 sets of 4. And then just gently coming back to your resting position. Now, the last thing I want to show you from sideways is there can be a question about how long do I stay up onto the balls of my feet. And this actually can vary depending on how your sense of engagement is, both with how your balance is and also how you get a sense of how your body moves down, because you're really getting a sense of strong energy moving down, almost like a compaction through your body that's going with the hand resistance. So you could start as quickly as coming down on the first one down, and so your heels touch the ground, and then continue down to sync with that, or all the way to about the 3rd time. And you'll see people teaching sometimes Tai Chi Cha, say on YouTube videos, and they'll mention one or the other of these. So anywhere in between that is quite workable. So coming, but the most important part is to really make sure that you give each one a chance, each movement down, have a chance of about an equal amount. Like you don't want to use it all up and have just a little bit at the end, for example. So let me show this again, 2 frontwards. We'll all try this together. So sinking into the right, coming out with your left, coming down and scooping up that energy, heavy air. You're on some big planet with lots of air and heaviness and gravity. Up you come with your breath coming through the back of your throat. So I'll just be quiet for a moment. And again. And closing. There's a couple things that are useful to know about this movement, which is, first of all, because you have more force, it actually starts giving you a bit more of a sense of where you might be working harder underneath the surface. So just feeling how there's more heavy air, you might also notice how you start manufacturing more work in your body, because we always tend to move towards feeling our own tension to tell us when we are working. A true effective stroke or movement always has a sense of effortlessness to it. When, for example, in martial arts, those guys who are putting their hand through the brick or the ice, they're not able to do that until they can stop getting in their way with their own tension, to let the movement come through. And then it all goes into the force connecting with the solid object. So we'll always do the same thing here. You'll find that as you come down into this, it helps really bring up a noticing of how much tension you have in your own body with this increase in a pressure field. So it's a really good way of kind of capturing that and just feeling the sensations of it. And just as you notice it and work with it, instead of just trying to make it let go, it's an unconsciousness in yourself, it'll tend to come back. Instead, just in the feeling of it, it'll slowly adapt. It's like biofeedback. You'll find it will gradually just soften and move away. So that's the first part. And the second part is that Justin Stone picked up on this with a much more energized approach to this whole form that he calls seijaku. So it's kind of something that a person can take, for example, if they really want to sort of advance or deepen their understanding of their Tai Chi Cha. And this is the one movement that really gives you a feel of how that kind of work happens. In seijaku, for example, you would come up and really feel that heavy air, and then at a certain point just feel it release, as if you've just broken through out of a cloud of heavy air and we're coming out into clear sky. So it would be kind of, and then it would drop. And so you really get to feel the difference